or you are to your own mental standards of what you're supposed to be, and you will never be there. You start to wonder why you're rambling about things you don't understand and why you're narrating. You don't understand where you are exactly or what you're seeing or what you're viewing. You're looking at things and you're thinking of other things in different places. You're imagining you're somewhere else as you talk through these words, but it isn't you talking, but it's not anyone else talking either. You don't understand what's happening, and this is what happens when you write. You get absorbed into your own story. You see the light from the lights on your wall as they climb and dance around your eyes. You don't know if you hallucinate the things you see or if everyone else is just crazy. You remember looking at your friend one night and you saw the colors around them swimming in beautiful hues and swirls. And suddenly you realized what Van Gogh saw when he painted that starry night. He didn't see all of those twists and curls. Those weren't what he saw. What he painted was what he interpreted. He looked into the sky and he physically saw it as you saw it, but when he looked and he focused, he felt it as something different, and he looked and he knew that it was something more than just a sky. And so he painted with anything that he could imagine, and that's what he saw. He looked at a plain black sky and he saw that it was black, but he knew, he felt another color there, that there was a dash of a lighter blue, and over on the other side there was a yellow dot and a twisting stature of blackness. And that's how you see things. You can see them fine, but you can't interpret them as anyone else. Someone can look at a yellow light or a candle and they'll describe exactly how you see it, and you can describe it the same way, but if you were to draw that same candle or light bulb, it would be in a different way. Dubstep is on a playlist from a boy you thought you liked long ago. You didn't want to admit it, but you admit it. The boy is your best friend. The boy is basically your father. Everything about him is the same, other than he doesn't want to be better than everyone else. He doesn't want to be better than himself. But you can see him slowly shifting over time and swarming and believing things that he shouldn't. You are best friends with this boy. The boy is your best friend. The boy says he wants to fix you. The boy says that he cares. The boy doesn't talk to you. The boy cares. You don't know how close you're allowed to get to these new friends because they aren't new, but they're not old. They're friends you have known for a while. You have known of one of them for a deranged period of time. It seems like you have known them for longer. You see yourselves, you compare each other, and you feel like you have known them for a longer period of time, and you assume that maybe that's because they are just like the girl you fell in love with. Everything about them is the same. You constantly compare and contrast the two. And as soon as you see that Jude is just like that apple you met so long ago in 5th grade while you were hiding in a corner, it is now the same. He found you walking to a bus stop, waiting there on a Wednesday. because you didn't know what time it was. You were both confused what time school was supposed to start, and you didn't know why. So you talked to each other for a little bit. You decently remember that he knew a general basis of what anime was. You were surprised that he knew what Nightcore was, but you soon begin to figure out that everybody does, and they just don't want to talk about it, which is fair. You suppose that they wouldn't have millions of views if everybody didn't know about it. You remember being friends with him for a period of time, but then he, out of the blue, cut you off and started avoiding you. You assumed that you had done something wrong, or that he found something he didn't like about you. And again, you were at peace, and you made up new friends. A friend from 6th grade you knew long ago that you didn't converse with. You saw him drawing birds in class. He is now one of the jocks, one of the popular kids, but he is still a good friend. A song you thought you deleted from all your playlists comes on, and it's a trigger. It's a song that started your eating disorder, and a song that you never want to listen to again, but you're not actually here, so you don't mind. You look at the pierogi tiles, and you see them as rainbows. You know that you are colorblind. That, or it is just the lights reflecting off of the white to make them a slight hue of colors that you can't quite decipher. You skip the song. A song from an artist you know that both you and the boy you've met like. The boy has the same energy as the girl. The boy has the same personality as the girl. The boy is not more troubled than the girl. The boy is mentally worse off than the girl. But the boy is no different from that girl. There are some personality things that are different, yes. But the boy is the girl. The boy, you look at him and you feel as though you already know him. You can read everything about him, even though you've only actually known him for such a short period of time. All of your readings on him are accurate, which proves your case that the boy is in fact just the girl. You miss the girl, which makes it hard to find the things about the boy different and separate from the girl. You are still in love with the girl. You do not know why you refuse to say her name, but as you do, you light yet another white candle to signify her presence. There is now one too many lights in this room. It makes it overbearing. It is unsettling and unbalanced. Yet, you can't bring yourself to blow out the candle you had just lit. You stare at it. You hold too many symbolic meanings to things. You discover at this point that the reason that the other boy pauses so much at things or stares is because he probably is hallucinating some image or feeling some sort of touch that throws him off, and that is just him trying to cope with it without trying to make a big scene. You support the other boy. You have known the other boy for a longer amount of time. The boy is your friend. You are closer with the boy, but you are not sure about who the boy is. And that scares you, Scratch. That does not scare you. That makes you interested. The boys, both of them, have the same energy, that of the girl. You need to know them. You need to feel them. The boys are special. The boys are the main characters. The boys are unique. You do not see yourself as having that energy. You wonder what people would think if they had seen the videos. These videos. Scratch, you are not thinking about that. You are not thinking about that at all. You are just trying to change the subject so you can think about that. So you should think about that. Currently, you are having two other conversations in your head about oranges and one about lemons. The lemons one reminds you of when Gabriel said, Scratch. The lemons one reminds you about when Christopher had said that the song Lemon Boy had reminded him of Gabriel and their relationship, and that it makes him sad, and you understood. You understood. And you don't know how to react to a lot of the things that the boy says, because the boy is so unlike the girl that he is the girl, and you are not sure how far you are willing to push. You are not sure how long. You are willing to wait to see how this will play out, because he is not the better version of the girl. He is the version of the girl that you are scared of. He is the version of the girl that you need to be afraid of. But you will want the boy. You will want to be the boy. Scratch. You will not want to be the boy. You will want to know the boy. You will want the boy to want to know you. The boy has someone else other than you. And at this moment you start to realize that the boy is not the girl. The boy is not the girl. You want the boy to be the girl. And that is not your fault. The birds are singing again. You wonder what the birds talk about. You wonder what things they say or believe. You wonder what birds. You wonder about birds. Just birds. Even though everyone else in your life has been surrounded by the hatred of birds, you had taken a liking to them. you had always related to the birds, whether in a deeply emo sense, or just in a sense of bird. You know you're getting into a weird state of mind as you hallucinate purple creatures in the corners of your eyes. The bird is alone, unless he flies. The song you listen to. You like the song, you enjoy the song. You related to the song a while ago. The boy is now interested in this song. You are now interested in the boy's song. You are not the boy. You will never be the boy. You will never be anyone else. Scratch. You will never be the boy. You will never be the boys. You will never be the girl. You will never be who you admire as long as you admire them. You will morph yourself into the people you hate. You will twist and turn yourself into the things that you never wanted approval of, for the simple case that you never got approval from them in the first place. You never sought reason from them and they never gave it to you. You become the things you hate because you don't understand the concept of hate. You understand why you like a person. You understand why you love them. You have reasons and memories and things to justify it. Scratch. You have reasons and memories and things to associate it. But when you hate something, when you misjudge something, and when you don't like it, you tend to become it. You tend to become it because things in life don't attain to your personal likings. We are constantly made of things we don't like. Personality traits are one. Quirks and bodily functions are not. We acquire the quirks we do from friends we have and people we love. We acquire the things that people are visibly able to see and attain from the people that we admire because we tend to only know them on a skin-deep level. We become the people we hate and despise because we know them more. We know them deeper, we know them enough to hate them, and that's why we become them. Another car passes by. You decide that it is time to put out the candles and only leave one lit that was not lit the hour before. You are distressed when you see the candle's light fade out. You are unsure as to why. You want the candle smoke to evaporate. You see that the candle's flame burns out faster without the air. The song that is playing you do not recognize. Scratch. You do recognize it, but you recognize it from a memory you don't have. You assume you heard it somewhere mid-February. Scratch. You assume you heard it somewhere early February. You decide to hold the one candle. You are unsure on why or what the candle represents. It flickers by every breath of your voice, and you then realize how dark your room actually is. Your aesthetic is ruined, and you now do not understand why you have blown out the candles. Maybe you are getting ready for some sort of finished part to this story. Or maybe you were simply looking for a part 2. Whatever there is, the difference is uncanny. You find yourself thinking ridiculous thoughts. That of, how did people in the Middle Ages drink soda with candles in their hand? Both of which, all of those words don't seem to make sense. You don't especially approve of the name Oscar for the new name of Oscar for your friend. But you don't not support it. You wish his name would have been Darren or Philip. He doesn't really fit Philip personality-wise, but the feel of the name definitely does. He now has a more of a vampire-ish gothic aesthetic than he had before, which was probably because he was in a dark shift for about months before. You want to burn this paintbrush. You want to watch the flames transfer onto it, and you want to paint with the flame. But you know that you like this paintbrush, and you do not want to ruin it. It has character. It has the paint of destroyed things left on its side. Maybe you will paint the candle instead of burn the brush. You are unsure as to why you put this on that playlist, but that is okay. Your cat seems to wonder if they can go up on the counter yet, though they see a candle lit. Cat hair is trapped in the isolated wax of the candle, which is okay. You wonder if it would damage the brush anything if you just dipped it in the candle wax. You do not want to risk burning the brush, but you also want to see what happens. You decide not to risk it. You have had a change in personality recently. Slight, but it is noticeable to you. You feel like Gabriel, Scratch. Oscar has noticed it also. You accidentally misgendered Zach today. You feel slightly proud, but also guilty. You just don't like him. You didn't mean to misgender him. But that's okay. All is well. There was no real meaning behind doing that to the candle. You just put it out. That is all. Or maybe that is what you tell yourself. As you now wait for your observations to end and for you to come back to the world that you know so dearly, that you will stop narrating your life and come back to the reality that the candles are not in fact burning, and the birds are only chirping in your mind. The song that is playing, you don't really know it. You are not allowed to know what song this is. Any memory you have left of the song will now be erased by your group member. Please escort yourself outside the room as you wait for the next bell to ring. I bid you a farewell. Goodbye.